Now I've got a bit of copper down there, but I think I will cycle that all the way around and we will look at getting all my labs. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe a bit further north, I'm not sure yet. We want 2 lanes in. One will be red and green, one will be blue and purple. And we want a bit of a sorting station here. I'll explain the sorting station when I come to actually build the sorting station. Early game it's not useful, late game it's so useful, it's unbelievable. You end up with a couple of chests, smart chests, a couple of smart inserters, and basically you say don't produce if you've got a bit of backup in these chests, and then you don't produce, and life is good. It saves you quite a bit on resources, and you can run one line down to here into the sorting mechanism, and the sorting mechanism will eat it and then split it up onto the separate tracks to go into here. That's the idea anyhow. I've got a funny feeling it's just not going to work in this game. I don't know why. It works on all the others. So yeah. That'd be one for like that one there. Now why does that look wrong? Because that is wrong. Let's build the sorting mechanism now so you can kind of see what I'm getting at. So you'd have a smart inserter there, you'd have a chest there, you'd have another one there, and that would cycle like so. Right. So you'd have an inserter there, an inserter there, then that'd be your main chest. You'd have another chest there. And so that would probably be my basic one. Why? Because then I can stick. We're still producing laboratories, but an underground belt there coming out to here. That's the idea anyhow. And that one will be my advanced tech. And then the feeder tube will come up here. And it will literally feed into a main one here. Smart inserter here would put portions on that side. Smart inserter here would put portions onto this side. And then you measure these two chests on these two sides to see how many more portions you need to create. I usually keep the chests at about 100. Then these ones will pull them onto the relevant belts. And then you'll have your little belt network. It's a nice little sorting system. Obviously for now it's useless, so we'll just hook it up like that. I feel like I should build that probably one higher, but it's not like... In fact, no, scrap that. Yeah, there we go. Just build the lab on lower. Software engineering student here, and I can't come up with basic principles like that. No wonder I can't get a job. I normally build these in kind of a U shape, so they don't go all the way down like this. I think I will with this one as well. Whoops. Nope, that was one too many. Wasn't really paying attention. So that'll come down like that. That'll come down like that. I'm out of inserters. Give us 5 long inserters as well. I best go check on my little foundries, hadn't I? Ah, yeah, that's not even got any power, so that's not going to work. Normally I will power up all 10, especially in the early, because that just uses up so much power. You're just going to be hemorrhaging a lot of power for no real gain. It's even sitting idle, these things will eat up power like no one's business. So what we'll do is put that one at the top. Again, symmetry, OCD, whatever. I haven't got OCD, but I'm not one to complain now, am I? Am I? Probably. I'm British, of course I complain. Right, so the outside line will be them. The inside line will be them. Yes, British people are allowed to complain about absolutely anything. Oh, newts. And there's nothing you can do to stop us. You can try. But if you really want to hear someone complain, go speak to a Scotsman. Or call a Welshman English. That's just hilarious. Right, so that's feeding, that's feeding. These are all facing the wrong direction because I am a moron. Nope, that was facing the right direction because I am a moron. We'll stick in some inserters like so. Stick in the power poles, which will probably not get replaced. Is that long enough? Oh yeah, but it won't power anything, will it? No, it misses one. Probably won't get replaced, but we shall see. And hook that up to the central network. Now as soon as this pole, I've never noticed that before. Right, what we'll do is we'll cut that like that. There we go. I thought you needed the longer poles to do that. Turns out you don't. So, you know, I'm not an authoritative figure on this game, really. You like to kid, you are. Right. Now to supply all of these with red potions, or science pack 1s, I'm sorry, until they change the pictures, they're always going to be red potions. Look at them. They're red potions. There's nothing you can do about it. If they complain, well then you shouldn't have made them red potions. What we'll actually do is I will have these running just so they miss that coal field. Because then the conveyor will run on that coal. I'm actually out of conveyors. Yeah, that's good. What we'll do is create just 10 more conveyors for now. And I'm out of inserters. I'm running out of everything. Right. Because then I can still use that as a little farm. If I get my whatchamacalls them up, my miners up close enough. And everything should be nice. So this will be my central line in. All the potions will go in here and then come into this sorting factory here. Obviously not set up because I'm nowhere near needing that to be set up at the moment, but it will get set up eventually. Don't need you, don't need you. Do need you, do need you, and I will need to hook you up. Right. Now to make a science pack, we need copper plates and iron gears. So we only need 2 ingredients. So we only need 1 track coming down here. You will see many people will run dual tracks and then use long inserters as well as short inserters. Just send the 1 track. It's a bit of a pain to set up, but once you get it all set up right and it's working, you feel so accomplished at the end of it. It's kind of scary. I'm gonna make I don't normally do this. I will generally have a massive cogwheel factory setups, like 6 of these factories, all churning out cogwheels. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up a single lone automated cogwheel factory here. Mostly because I can't be bothered to try and work out how to expand this network up here to fit it all in. Plus, it's one factory sitting by it, it's lonesome, it's not going to cause any harm. Normally I wouldn't, and I would strongly advise against it, but if I didn't make mistakes, and let's face it, the factory's going to get rebuilt a 1,000 times sooner or later, but if I didn't make mistakes, I wouldn't be human. I like being semblant to human, I suppose. It's got its perks. It's got its women. Something like that. I'm kind of just rambling now. Rambling John Johnson. Right, so that's going to be my supply pipe for the foundries. Oh, if you when you place an underground belt, you put your first one in first. You put the first one down first, obviously. It's 5 squares difference. Then you put your last one down. If you find you've placed it the wrong direction, hover over it, hit R. It'll go in the other direction. That, seriously, I wish someone had told me about that. That is something quite extraordinary. We don't want to be churning out plates yet. Not yet. We do want to kind of link that to there. And then we're going to want another underground pipe. To go from there to there. And then we're going to want a splitter. We split these on nice and early because it works out quite nice. I may leave gaps in the furnaces, but I only build these furnaces 10 long, and then I start a new row and hopefully attach it to a different copper source and so on and so forth until we hit conundrum, really. Right, better off building backwards. Oh, get rid of that. Put our pistol away, and we'll put the minigun there. There's no kind of maintenance needed for the minigun, so you use it till it drops, basically. Get some more of them made. Now, I could turn this into a dual lane copper, so I need to ensure that that remains a single lane copper. Same with my iron, really. I should really build another splitter here. In fact, I will do. So, at the end of the day, I don't know what the input's going to be. All I do know is I want it to be single lane. Also, I want it to be on this inside lane here. So, that will make it on the inside lane. I do this because the output to this factory is going to go on the outside lane. So I've got something on the inside, something on the outside. It's a nice, neat little setup. I probably want another underground bell. I probably want a couple more of them, actually. We'll just produce a few of them. What we'll do is we'll cut in there and we'll harvest them up. And what we'll do is we'll cut in there and we'll harvest that up. I'm a bit of a sucker for underground belts and hiding as much as the factory as possible from the overworld. Now with my steel plates, iron plates even, they can go down dual lane because when they get down here, they get converted to the iron gears, which then instantly get used up by these guys here. So now I've got some kind of automation set up. For some reason then I thought I'd produce some potions and I haven't, so that's good. So now we need to get it all running. Something along them lines. Power up these arms. And we will go down and we watch. So the splitter's splitting up quite evenly. We've got copper coming up at the top there. Got copper coming down here. Iron coming down here. So first factory starts producing me some iron gears. Oh, as you can see, I slightly overstepped the mark there. Iron gears are going in here with the copper plates. Obviously there's going to be a lot more copper plates than there is iron gears, but eventually I will upgrade this factory and these will be able to keep up. As you can see, they're kind of just about keeping up now, and they're getting down to the fourth machine. Ideally I'd have all four working, but at this moment in time I don't mind so much. Now to stop these red potions from just building up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out there. Then they'll still build up, but hopefully get used up before then. So there's the first lesson in automation. We have a working factory going. Steel processing should now anything with red bases behind it will get automatically researched for me. Anything with green, I'm going to have to start expanding for the greens. But we can have a look. We've got quite a large... oh, I never did get that output in, did I? So now we've got steel processing. This will unlock my favourite type of furnace, really, which we'll work on now. Going to need a lot of bricks. You go through so many bricks. So if we come up here, that automated steel processing factory. There we go. We also need a lot of steel, but the steel and the stone will get expanded relatively quickly over the next few little oh, hang on. Oh, I need green potions, so I need 50 of them. Now I want this furnace, so what I'll do is I'll sacrifice my player capacity building speed rather than building up the factories to do it, because building the factories is just going to be a bit of a pain in the bum at this moment in time. So as you can see, I'm getting iron gear overload basically, which is why I've made them its own dedicated little factory. I do need iron gears elsewhere, but I'll work on that later. I mean, a lot of this will probably all get stripped out, just generally, to make way for more furnaces. Or in fact, yeah, probably I'll probably strip all of this all of this lining out here for furnaces later. I don't know yet. We're still looking. So none of the pollution, none of this pink area is starting to affect any of these bases. I'm a defensive player. I would rather the enemy came to me rather than I chase them down. I've got my armor. They're not going to do too much damage. I've got my gun, but yeah, come and get me, boys, rather than die. I wanted to expand my network. See, now this is why you don't rely on your character to produce you goods. It doesn't work. In fact, as soon as we're not researching anything because we're waiting on green, I might as well start working on... what could I work on? What could I work on? That requires green. Engines require green. Tool belt requires green. Could get some slightly better armor. I think I'm going to go with the turrets though. Turrets are always good. At least I've got something researching then. Keep everything nice and busy. We'll empty you. So my wooden chest is nice and full of stone. So a lot of them burners, they're just not going to work. We'll get some optics as well, so I can start lighting up the area. Lighting up the area, especially with trains, very useful. I mean, to begin with, this wants to be a double lane of iron and a double lane of coal. And then you use the long inserters to insert it. Otherwise, your iron's just not going to make it to the bottom of all 10 furnaces. So a lot of this does need reworking, but obviously I'm waiting for the stronger furnaces before I start working on that. So steel chest, that gets upgraded. Wow, I'll probably be able to burn through a lot of these red ones before I start manufacturing these greens. What I'm going to have to do is just cancel some of these greens off though. I'll let that manufacture because that's going to come in useful. Actually, just give us the one inserter. And hopefully it won't take that long. There we go, it just whaps through them. Then I'll have that. I'll put that there. Let's take my inserter there. And there we go. I'm going to end up now with a nice big full steel chest. I could do with one for the stone, so the furnace is still carried on working, but I'm not too fussed about that. I say that and then I go collect. Oh, I don't have enough in it. I'm 3 short. See, I could build, technically I could quite easily build another furnace here. There's absolutely nothing stopping me. And then have 2 smelting me iron into steel, but then I've just got redundant stone furnaces which will get used anywhere else, anywhere within the game, unless I build like a small proxy base somewhere that and I really need some resources, or generally I find it's just easier to run back to your base than it is to build up proxy bases, which I've seen people quite happily just build. Right, got another. Ooh, we are really cooking with steam here. Automation 2. Automation 2 is really useful. Oh, I created it there, look. It allows you to build a better factory. There we go. What I'm going to do is going to dump my stone in there for now, because I'm not really using it. And the better factory allows you to combine up to 4 ingredients, and that's very vitally important for creating green potions. Well, the automation of creating green potions. Now, I've said a few times, transport belts can get upgraded. If I bring up the tech tree, I'll show you. Logistic networks 2. So, fast transport belt requires 1 transport belt. And then number 3 requires 1 fast transport belt. So to get up to the express, you require quite a lot, to begin with, just quite a lot of iron gears. Lubricant's not really an issue. You don't really use heavy oil for anything else. And you get lubricant, you get lubricant from, if I can find it, oil processing. And you get it from heavy oil. And the only thing heavy oil really does is have a turn into solid fuel, which I think is a waste. I would rather store heavy oil than turn it into fuel. I'd rather do that with any oil, unless I'm desperate, which is very rare. Or, if I can find it, advanced oil processing. It can get turned into light oil. Light oil has got its uses. I believe it's used in explosives, which is well late into the game. If I can even find it. La 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 la. Let's go to rocketry. Flammables. Nope. Let's go back to rocketry. Explosives. They've changed the symbol on me. It used to be a little teen. Oh no, there it is. Explosives. So that's coal, sulfur and water, which is not what I thought the ingredients were. Something requires light oil, but 5 explosives. Rocket. Maybe it's the rocket. Nope, that should require explosives. Flamethrower. So that, yeah, there we go. Flamethrower ammo. Now the flamethrower is useless. Pretty good if you get up close, but I prefer to auto spam turrets, and you'll see this very much late game. Auto spamming turrets is just a lot easier, a lot more useful than using any of the kind of weaponry in here. The downside is you have to run long electricity lines to such a point where I don't bother with the car. I don't bother with a lot of things. I go with the power armor 2. I go with the exoskeleton times something like 4 or 5 so that I can run places. There it is, basic exoskeleton equipment. I will have basically this. I'll have a power armor full of this, a couple of shields just in case, quite a few batteries because you will need them, and a fusion reactor. And I just run around the field with this. And I'm pretty much just about as fast as a car, but not quite as fast as a train. And I think it's just better, just generally. Right, we've got automation 2 underway. So what we'll do is get up to the amount of green potions that I need. What I think I'll do is I'll run these lines sideways along here and have my factories here going up and expand kind of this way. What I'll do is I'll get rid of. Oh wow. Okay, so you're going to end up with quite a few. If you need to cut the trees down. I'm used to late game. I've been playing a lot of late game recently, so you know I expect to be able to mow these trees down a lot faster than I can harvest them. And at this moment in time in the game, that is obviously not the case. This is probably why in my late game I'm stood around scratching my head going, why have I got so much lumber in my inventory? It's probably because cutting down the trees seemed to be a faster alternative than actually shooting them at that point in the game. Which I honestly, it's been that long since I played early game. I've been enjoying playing late game quite a bit. So, got enough steel for my first steel pickaxe, so we'll invest in that. And we'll start looking at cleaning up this factory floor. Now I need to leave enough room here for oil processing, which is why I built my copper quite far off the ground. Do I have enough time to fit another red in? I probably do. Just gotta find a decent red. Bullet damage. Bullet damage is going to be useful. I can just go for a bit more armor. Armor's good. So my iron pickaxe is right at the end there. So I'm not going to have it for a while, but I've still got this. Oh, sorry, steel pickaxe is right at the end there. But I've still got this iron pickaxe to go, and I'm not burning it into storage. It's a waste of space. I might as well use it while I've got it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's coming along quite nicely. That's coming along quite nicely. I do need to build up some more power. Yeah, definitely need more power. So as you can see, I'm now capped at 1.5 megawatts. Yeah, that's got to be megawatts. It will be milliwatts, you moron. So yeah, as you can see, it's quickly dipped down, but then went straight back up. At a guess, my radar's definitely not getting enough power. My mine's definitely not getting enough power because they're fluctuating. In fact, everything's fluctuating to such a point where I'd quite helpfully say. But as you can see, I've got 5 long-handed incisors. They're actually not doing anything. They're just sat there. I know this because I've only built the 5 and they're for my lab. And they're using up 2 kilowatts. Doesn't sound like a lot, but such early on in the game. Yeah, I could be using them 2 kilowatts elsewhere. So, boilers. I need some stone. This is why you should never use up all your stone. Always keep some stone handy. You never know when you're going to need it. Going to want 4 more boilers, 3 more engines, and if I can find it, an underground pipe and then a normal pipe. So I'll explain what I did here. I've got an offshore pump, an underground pipe or pipe to ground over here, so that's all nice and linked up at the maximum range. So I've got a nice big walkway here in case I need to ferry anything through there. I've even had to ferry a train round my power like this before, simply because I had to. It was such a tight squeeze. and this becomes wasted space. This becomes dead space. You can't walk in between any of that. And then a pipe here. Now the pipe here gets very, very important, but I'm going to have to interrupt him mid-flow. So